Foodie, hi and welcome. I'm Anna, the Keto Foodie, and today we're doing one of my favorites, Cuban shredded beef stewed, or AKA Ropa Vieja. So stick around, I'll show you how to do it. Right, to start with this Cuban stewed pulled beef, we start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a heavy pot. Then we also have 80 grams of roasted red pepper, 2 tablespoons of sofrito, recipe down below, 200 mils of tomato passata or tomato sauce, 6 green olives, 1 tablespoon of adobo, recipe down below, and 80 grams of yellow onion. And so the meat that you want to use for this dish, if you're in the UK, you want to use skirt steak. If you're in the US, you want to use not skirt steak. You want to go a little bit further back on the cow and use flank steak. Now, you want to cut this into strips along the grain. You don't want to cut it into cubes or something too small because you're going to be pulling this and it's going to be shredded. And in fact, Ropa Vieja translates into tattered clothes or shredded clothes. So that's what it's supposed to look like, just tatters and shreds of beef here. Once you've added it to the olive oil in the pot, you're going to make sure that you're giving it a bit of an initial sear, you're stirring it up. Then add in the sofrito and also add in the adobo. Now this is going to give it the base. Adobo is an all-purpose seasoning and the sofrito is a cooking base. So go ahead and add those into the pot and make sure that you stir it around, making sure that the beef that's already in the pot is covered and well coated and well seasoned. Now for the beginning, I'm cooking this on a high heat. That's why it's getting a little bit of a sear. But once it initially gets a brown color, I'm turning the heat down to a medium heat. And it's medium because I'm only going to cook this for an hour, which I think is the minimum in order to be able to be tender enough to pull apart at the end. If you have time, you can do this low and slow. In fact, you can do this all in a crock pot as well and cook it nice and slow. So I'm going to now add half a cup of water, and that will help to keep the meat a bit tender and help it continue to cook. Now, if I were to do this in the crock pot, I would add enough water so that it covers the beef and then leave it again low and slow. Now I'm moving around the beef, making sure that it is all along the bottom of the pot so that it all cooks together at a nice even pace. I'm going to add the olives. I'm going to then add the onions. And last, I'm going to add in the red peppers. Then I'm going to take the 200 mils of tomato passata or tomato sauce in the US, and I'm going to also add that into the pot. And once I've added it into the pot, I want to make sure that I give everything a good stir, make sure that everything is mixed very well. Now, I'm also going to add a packet of sazon Goya. Now, this is something that you can get on Amazon and order it, even if you're here in the UK. Now, this has the coloring. You can use saffron if you don't have color, if you don't have this sazon. It also has paprika and cumin. Therefore, if you don't have sazon Goya to add and you can't get it off of Amazon, just go ahead and add about half a teaspoon of cumin and half a teaspoon of paprika and mix it all into the pot as well. Now, if you do this in the crock pot, please let me know how it turned out. This should be just fine. It'll be nice and tender, and all you need to do is pull it apart before you actually serve it up. Now, once all of this is mixed, you're going to cover it, and you're going to cook this for about an hour, checking it every 10 minutes to see if it needs a bit more water, and to move it around to make sure that it doesn't stick down below. Now this is what it looks like after about 20 minutes. You notice that the sauce has started to thicken up. I still did add another half a cup of water in there to keep it from drying out, and then I put the lid back on. After about half an hour, I take the lid back off. Yes, it doesn't have a handle. I still love my lid and I still love my pot. And I add in a tablespoon of tomato puree or tomato paste. I add that in, and that will thicken up the sauce, and I will mix it into the beef as it is. Once it's mixed in, I'll put the lid back on, and then I will let it simmer for about another half an hour. Now I'll pick this up slightly so that you can see what it looks like, and let this continue with the top on to simmer for another half hour. And after the hour is up, you can take the beef pieces out of the pot and put them onto a cutting board. Now, some people use specific beef pulling or pork pulling. They look like claws. You don't need to get anything special. Just take 2 forks and pull them apart. Now, it's up to you to decide how stringy you want to make it, so how much you want to pull this beef apart. Some people like a bit of stringy beef and some chunks in it still as well. That's fine. It is up to your taste to decide how much you want to pull this beef apart. It'll take a while. You can see, it's still taking a while. Pull, 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 pull. But again, you decide how much you want to pull these apart, and then what you will do is put them back into the pot and simmer it all together with the rest of the ingredients for about another 10 to 15 minutes. Now, after 10 to 15 minutes of further stewing after you've pulled the beef, this is what it looks like. Now, you can pair this with my Puerto Rican yellow cauliflower rice, which tastes amazing. I'll link to it up above or down below in the description. But I have it with baked radishes, which amazingly taste like potatoes, and also some creamed spinach. Enjoy. Right, so the rest of the food is finishing on the stove, but I've just added a tiny little bit here so that we can taste it. So let's see. I've got like stuff on my chin now. Awesome. Excuse me. That's that Ropa Vieja that I love. Yep, all of the flavors are there. The savoriness, the tender beef. Now again, you can make this, you can cook it for longer, slower, and the beef will really just fall apart. If you don't have all that much time, an hour should do it. But make sure that you cut it up into small enough pieces, not tiny pieces, but small enough pieces that you can still get it shredded. And the amount of shredding that you do on it is really up to you. I like both shredded and like little chunks as well. Yeah, this works. It's my Ropa Vieja. You're gonna like it. I can guarantee it. Yeah. All right. Well, if you make this, seriously, let me know. Let me know what you think of it. Yeah, it is a bit more involved, but it's totally worth it. And actually, this is one of those meals that the longer it sits, so if you've got leftovers, they're sitting in the fridge, it tastes better the next day after it's just sat there and had time to really marinate in the sauce. So please let me know. And then if you do have leftovers and you do eat them, let me know how they are. Just comment below. Now, if you like this video, then oh my goodness, come on, give me that lovely little thumbs up. Would really appreciate it. And if you'd like more videos from me, then click the subscribe button and the bell, because the bell will tell you when I upload another video. Yeah. Okay, well, again, time for us to eat. Time for me to see you next time. So until then, I say to you, foodie bye.